Coming to you live from the day of the apocalypse. No. Coming to you live from the day of the eclipse. We're grayed out. Not actually going to get to see anything. But that's okay because I've seen it once before. It's been about 7 years since the last one. I was actually working that day. So it seems like a relevant day to make a little bit of a personal vlog. A little bit of a footnote in my life. Coming to you guys from our new rental property, new to you, not new to us. We've actually been here for a couple months. And it's been fun. There's some quirks about the house, you know, there's definitely some crap, questionable craftsmanship. You know, we got tile on top of a Formica countertop, but that's okay. Hey, you know what? At first glance, it looks great. Anyway, I haven't been regular about my videos lately because of the move, and there's a couple reasons why we moved. For one, it was time, and for two, kind of in a bit of a family strife, a little bit of a family conflict. We're better now, though, so it's all good. But this year kind of started out like a powder keg going off. There was a big fight, and, you know, then I also had my vehicles that I had to fix, which you guys saw. The Escort is still running, so we can make a little bit of a, you know, appearance on that. Was it worth saving? Oh, you betcha. We'll get into that, though. We're a couple hundred miles past the 1,000 mile mark on her. I kind of missed it. When we started and got this thing on the road, it was at 210,624 miles. And now we're sitting at a locked car door. Hang on a second. Insert humanity here. And now we're sitting at 212,049 miles. She starts right up, no problem. And is a happy little four-banger. Now, of course, some people said that this car was probably not worth fixing, not worth its weight for sure. And, you know, when you look around, you find little things all over the place that a new car certainly won't be dealing with. Sagging headliners with holes in it from the sun and heat and contrast, hot and cold. Cracks in the dashboard from the airbag deployment. But no car's perfect. They all get used and abused, and honestly, having this car at this time in my life has been pretty important to me. See, I've had this car for 14 years, and that's 14 years of driving around angry, going to camping trips with friends, damage marks, rowdy, rough riding on back roads, all kinds of adventures. It's been to Illinois twice, the old 90 on 90, allegedly. Been to Idaho too many times to even remember. This car has done an awful lot for me, and it slowly became my car. At first it was a car that I learned how to drive on. It was my dad's, and he would just loan it out to me whenever I wanted to go somewhere. All I had to do was ask and fill it with gas. And as time went on and she got worn in and worn out, it slowly became my car. Most of these wear marks on this clutch pedal, those are mine. I've also taught several of my friends how to drive, and even my girlfriend how to drive a manual in this wagon. So it is special to me, even if it isn't like my 442. That being said, it's also a gas saver. It's a little four-banger. They get about 37 to the gallon if you treat them right, you know, keep everything good. And right now we're getting about that. I will say that the gas quality right now is crap. So there have been some random declines, some random valleys in those stats. But in general, it has been pretty good on the gas. Now, as far as the cost of saving this little four-banger, $746 through my machinist. Barry's Quality Machine. $746 got us 4 pistons, 1 connecting rod, 1 resurfacing of the head, installment of new valve seats and valve, and the complete gasket kit. And my only complaint with that gasket kit, just like with Felpro, this blue gasket is pretty freaking useless. I'm going to say it right now. See that little bit of oil weep? That's happened both times that I've used that type of gasket. So I do recommend the beaded factory gasket. Those blue ones, they look cool, but they're crap. We have an audience member. This is our neighbor's cat. She's a sweetheart. Oh, Luna, don't go away. Okay, well, she's camera shy. I see you. $746. It's actually a couple hundred more because of my work replacing the computer and the sensors, but we didn't need to do that. It turned out there was nothing wrong with my car's original parts. I was just a dingus and didn't realize that one of my main module plugs was not plugged in. Thought I went over everything, but that's beside the point. I digress. $746 to save all the memories and to keep on trucking into the future. And with gas where it is right now, you bet ya I'm glad to have a little fuel sipper like this. $746 wouldn't get you something like this on Facebook Marketplace. Certainly not something that runs as good as this and is in as good a condition. This car's AC still works. The heater works, of course. We know the engine's good. And to all those boomers out there that tell you absolutely have to hone the block when you rebuild it, we didn't do that, and she's fine. She's not even burning oil or nothing. In 1,500 miles, the only oil I've lost is out of the top of that gasket, and it's not much. So, yep, $746 to save this. And while the car isn't perfect, it does need some other things. We've got some tie rods and certainly got some bushings to replace. I mean, as I've had to remind the audience time and time again, this car has been through a couple hits. Perfect timing. Not so camera shy after all, huh? Hi. Yeah, I know. It's rainy and annoying outside, I know. Anyway, this car's been through some heavy hits. That damage right there is the same damage that my control arm bushings, tie rods, ball joints, everything in the front and rear sustained. I'm surprised these rims aren't super bent. But that's enough about the Escort. Just figured I'd get you guys a little update on that. Now my Ranger's up north still, standing by in case the Escort does fail us. This is our nice little yard here. We live in the shadow of big paper. You can't see the plume of smoke today because of clouds. As I was saying, there's a lot of craftsmanship issues around this house. We got that's certainly safe. No, I did not do that. I've been working construction too long to allow something like that to exist. It bugs me thinking about doing something about it, but it's not my property. So first week we moved into this place, my dad and I actually did a favor for the landlord. We attached the gutters that were falling off of the roofs back to where they belonged and replaced a fence post that was completely rotted out. We actually were able to pull this fence post out of the ground, the concrete that they poured around it, perfectly, and pound another one right into the square. Pretty cool. But anyway, so we're pretty good tenants, you know. We make improvements to places we don't even own. So as you guys can see, it's a new chapter in my life, and because of that, I'm not sure how many videos I'm going to be able to make. Got to pay the bills and all. Me and my girlfriend have to float this place, and I've been looking for a job, and jobs take a lot of time out of your hands, and videos are, well, I don't get paid for them, so I don't have a subscribe star. So video content may be up and down and all over the place. I may do some music. I may consider getting my two-stroke bikes down here. There is a video going to be happening about my current status up north. My dad's country property up there may be for sale soon in the next 6 to 8 months. And we've been doing some heavy work around there. We've really got the overgrowth under control now. It's stuff that I probably should have filmed a before and after, just never really got around to it because my heart was never in the right place there. And now, of course, we're moving, and there's a couple things on that property I will miss. I mean, it's not like the house in town that we lived at That was a really special place to me, having 20 years of my life there. But there still are some memories. There were battles with my dad. There were big firework parties during the 4th of July. There was friends that camped out. There was me and my buddy Brandon bushwhacking our way across the extremely overgrown Great Frontier, as I thought of it as. It kind of felt like the frontier. The most notable thing that I'd like to show off to the camera is the cabin that I built, a spitting image replica, not the interior of course, but the exterior of our old house. It's definitely something that I made sure the architecture would look the same, you know.
The cabin is a 2-story structure made from 100-year-old wood reclaimed from the original house that stood on our 8-acre property. In a very determined effort, I painstakingly reclaimed the old tongue and groove sheeting and whatever true 2x4 rough sawn I could save from that house. I stacked it all with the intention of one day building a tribute to the old house in town that we lived in. A portion of that wood also came from my cousin's 120-year-old home in Ording that we were renovating at the time. Though the pile of reclaims sat for over a year, as conflicts with my dad and with myself, being on the property, shifted my focus, but eventually we would build the tribute. The most notable part of that whole project would be the chimney. My dad and I masoned our own chimney, day by day, bag by bag, row by row, and at the foot of that chimney is a piece of the old Victorian house from back in Chehalis. It's my favorite part. A huge sandstone block that sat for many years in the yard after my dad replaced the crumbling foundation walls with a poured stem wall. And I hustled that piece of sandstone all the way to our property out in the country during the last days of our ownership of that house in town. As I said before, it's a new chapter in my life, and sadly the country property may soon go the same way as the house in Chehalis did. Which is why I'm making this vlog and a couple more in the future here, to remember what got the fire started and the wheels rolling, and to remember the things that we sometimes have to move on from.